scoring here of 6 members on a team, just the top 5 will count.
And Gonzagi mounts with a triple full. He's one of the only competitors in this competition to mount with this skill. It's 3 twists and 1 somersault. So round off back handspring, triple twist, 1 little step there. Now he'll work right out of the corner and go into his second pass, which is a round off back handspring, double tuck somersault. Ooh, 1 little step there. Pretty clean so far, and they're really hoping for a lot from this young man because he's their new star. There's his press to a handstand. Must hold that for 2 seconds. Now his third tumbling pass. It's a full twisting dive roll right into double leg circles on the floor. A little pommel horse work there. Now his last corner. He'll show a little flexibility and also balance here.
Scheduled is Mitch Gaylord from Los Angeles, California.
And Mitch is excited about this competition because he hasn't had a meet for a while.
There is Scott Johnson, who's scheduled next in the rotation, having his back rubbed by the team trainer. Now Mitch Gaylord.
Mitch mounts with a full in back out. That's a double back with a full twist. A little over-rotated there, but he works right out of the corner into his second pass, which is a round off whip back, flip-flop, double twist. And now into his third pass, which is a round off Arabian dive roll. Mitch hasn't even stopped in his routine yet, so this will be his first corner move. There's a split showing flexibility. Now he'll work out of the split and get into his press to a handstand. Very smooth and slow. You must hold that press for 2 seconds. Moves into the corner. Now he'll show another balance move, which is a scale. This is a new routine for Mitch. Now all he has left is his dismount, which is a round off back handspring double tuck. Round off back handspring, double back somersault, little hop, but a great routine for Mitch.
Fine, solid performance here by Mitch Gaylord for the United States.
I'm sure he's pleased with that routine because he's been training for the last 2 months for this competition.
Now there is Scott Johnson, and he is all bundled up on the bench. I do not think he is going to compete. He's not. Here comes Tom Beach, who's going to take his place. And the score for Mitch Gaylord, 9-6-5, very good indeed for the United States. And there is Mitch Gaylord. Fine performance by this young man from Los Angeles. And now the alternate, Tom Beach.
Well, Tom, I'm sure, is pretty nervous at this point because 2 seconds ago he found out that he was competing. And, you know, when you're not prepared to compete and then all of a sudden they say, you're up, it's pretty nerve-wracking. But he has a good Florex routine. He mounts with a round-off back handspring, layout tuck, first somersault in a straight body position, second somersault tucked. Looks a little conservative here, though. Second tumbling runs is a front step out, handspring front. Very smooth in the corners. Here's his press to a handstand. Now his third tumbling run is a round off pike side. There's a scale. Getting a little rest right before the dismount. Makes you think of him, and I think of Montreal in 1976.
Let's listen to the way Gordon Maddox described that great performance.
Magyar, Hungarian. Been sensational on this. Won the World Games, in fact. Beautiful high split. Scissors. Now, to win a gold medal, all he's got to do is get off this thing cleanly. Still working behind his back. Extraordinarily difficult. Oh, yeah, tremendous.
Zoltan Magyar, one of the great pommel horse performers of all time. And here on the pommel horse, carrying on in the great tradition, is the Hungarian team leader, Ferenc Donov, 28 years old, from Budapest.
And Donath has a very difficult routine. He was the man that set up Zoltan Magyar every time in the international competitions. And what I mean by set up is he was the one right before Magyar, and he scored very high and got Magyar going. Performing really well so far. Had a couple knee bends here and there, but again, he has a difficult routine. He works down on the horse, travels up to the pommel, down on the horse again, and now ready for his dismount. Does a loop around, hop, and loop with a half off. Fine routine.
Ferenc Donath, member of the 1980 Olympic team and the national champion of Hungary in 79, 80, and 81. And there's his score, a very respectable 9.6. This is George Gutzaki. He's scored a 10 in this event before.
And he's capable of doing it again. He's got an extremely difficult routine. Watch this. He does a Magyar spindle on the pommel, which is a series of Durhams, or circles with half twists. So back more up. There he breaks into his flare. Working a little slow today, and brushing the horse a little bit, but again, he has a very difficult routine to work with. Loop around, travel up to the pommel, down to the horse, up to the pommel, down to the horse. And a low dismount. It's going to cost him a 10. Now, I said it was a low dismount. Let's take another look. He wanted to go through the handstand position on this, I'm sure. He goes right to the pommel here, and he got a little far forward, and that caused him to have to bail out, and he couldn't go through the handstand position.
But he must have had a good routine despite that fact, because the score looks very good indeed. 9.8 for Gutzaki of Hungary. This is Phil Cahoy, a junior at the University of Nebraska.
Phil has a nice long body, and he looks really good on pommel horse, especially when he's right on. He does a series of, does a lot of front work on pommel horse. There's a more front out, straddling his legs, immediate more front out. There's his flare. As you can see, those long legs really make him look good. He stretches really nice on horse.
He's 5'11", which is fairly tall for a gymnast, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But he manages somehow to get that body swinging. Now for his dismount. Got in a little trouble, a little forward there, but pulled it out.
That's Phil Cahoy, and the United States needs some very high marks here. Phil Cahoy being cheered on to a 9.65, which improves the United States position quite a bit. Here is Mitch Gaylord now with a chance to pull the United States ahead.
Well, hopefully we'll see an exciting routine here by Mitch. He travels across the pommels immediately, and then he does 3 back moors on one pommel. There's 1, 2, 3 back moors. Extremely difficult to stay on that one pommel, do all that immediate work. Breaks into his flare. 2 front scissors and 1 reverse scissor. Now he picks up for his dismount. Now watch, he goes right through a handspring. Gets a good push, nice form in the air, and takes 1 step backward.
Wallace Miller. Wally Miller from the Bronx, New York, New York. .940 for Wally Miller. And now Mario McCutcheon.
This is one of Mario's better events. He does a handspring front in a pike position, gets a lot of explosion off the horse. Now watch this push. Handspring, pike front, and takes a big leap forward.
Almost knocking over our cameraman.
And Mario's had a super career so far. In 1980, he won the Nissen Award, which is awarded to the nation's outstanding senior collegiate gymnast.
And he gets a 9.6 here, a very good mark for Mario McCutcheon. As we move down to the Hungarians and Istvan Vamos, a name which they tell us means tax collector. He's a member of the 1980 Olympic team.
Vamos uses a handspring front in a tuck position with a half twist. It's a very good vault for him. He gets a lot of push off the horse and has pretty good form in the air. Watch his distance from the horse also. It's good post flight. Good push, half turn, and 1 step backward. Istvan Vamos. Istvan is a 1980 Olympic team member. Here's a slow motion look at it. Now watch his form in the air. That's what the judges are looking for. Good push off the horse and a half turn, small little step. That's a super vault for Istvan. Mario has a very good high bar routine. He's very stylish and he's got a nice body for this event. He mounts with a back-up rise, Stalder, and right here he has a reverse hecht. No, there's a one-arm giant. Now there's a reverse hecht. There's his release move. Kip, hop change, pirouette. And he does cow hop, and now he'll stoop into his inverted giants. Required on high bar. Ooh, have a little bend there in his elbow. Got to keep constant pressure on the bar there. There's a heck vault, another release move. Kip. Now all he has left is his dismount. His giant to a double pike somersault. Nice routine for Mario.
Mario.
There's a shot of his grandmother.
Mario McCutcheon here with an inspired performance on the horizontal bar. A good score perhaps coming up here for the United States in this very close competition. He looks pleased. There it is, 9.75. And here is the last American competitor, Mitch Gaylord, very much in contention for the all-around. There's his father, and here we go.
And he's going to be going for it. He's going to end his routine with a triple back somersault. There's a stem with a half turn, jam into inverted giants. Now he hops out here, does a Stalder, and then a Stalder with a half twist. Now watch this, a flyaway with a half regrasp. Beautiful routine so far. There's a kick change. There's a pirouette over the top. Now he has a triple back somersault here. He can nail it. He can promptly win.
Mitch Gaylord here in a tremendous performance, maybe the best of the afternoon here, to pile up some points in the United States and perhaps, Kurt, even to nail down the all-around.
Well, that was a sure good performance. Let's see the score.
9-9-0. My goodness, what a marvelous, marvelous performance by Mitch Gaylord.
Well, here's another look at that dismount. It's a triple back somersault, and boy, he nails it. It's 1, 2, 3, and he just sticks the landing. Look at that smile.
Mitch Gaylord. Now the Hungarians have their work cut out for them as we go now to Ferenc Donat.
Ferenc mounts with a stem. Immediate Stalder right here. Now he'll take a giant and roll into inverted giants. And he does a full turn out. Immediate hop pirouette. Another Stalder. Now watch this, he'll go right back into inverted giants. And another full turn out. Straddle over, half turn. Kip, hop pirouette. And all he has left is his dismount, which is a half in, half out. Oh, and he got leaning forward there. It took about 5 steps.
Oh, isn't that too bad? Oh, how frustrating for him.
And he's wondering about that right there.
Oh, that's the heartbreak in gymnastics, I guess, Kurt, after doing a good program to falter in the last second.
It really is, and that's going to cost him.
Well, they were creeping up on the Americans, and that could have been fatal. 9.55, not bad, but perhaps not good enough. And putting all the pressure on this young man, Georgi Gutsagi, who is only 1/10, or was 1/10 ahead in the all-around, but remember that Mitch Gaylord hit a 9.90. So the pressure is on this young man for the team and the individual.
Well, there he just mounted with a straddle front catch out of a back uprise. Extremely difficult mount. Now he'll stoop into inverted giants. Hop pirouette here.
The States would dominate. Here's the best vault by Amy Koopman, a 9.7 that helped the United States to a 1.1 lead. We move now to the uneven bars. And for Hungary, here is 14-year-old Andrea Kozak.
Andrea has to be especially careful. She has form breaks quite often in a routine. Let's see if she can get it together here. Starts out with a glide kip, straddle cut catch to the high bar. Notice how far apart her hands are when she works these kips. That's very unusual. Her pace is a bit slow right now. Big form break on her legs. Straddle over, kip to the high bar. A routine should move very, very quickly, and right now she's just moving extremely slow. A stomach whip, straddle over, getting ready for a dismount. Now watch this, a heck back. Very difficult move to do. Right there, nicely done.
Very nice landing here by the 90-pounder, Andrea Kozak from Budapest. And Andrea now gets a score of 9-3-5. The next competitor is Andrea Landagni, the youngest competitor in this meet, 12 years old, 61 pounds, from Budapest.
I think the Hungarian team is looking at this young gymnast to do great things in international competition. She has the potential, and this is one of her better events. She starts out with a glide kip. Now watch this. Full twist, right into a giant, half giant. She tapped her legs slightly on the floor, a few tenths off for that. The one thing she has to do is stretch her moves a little bit more. Free hip to a handstand, very well done. That should go right into a handstand every time. A little bit of an arch in the back there. And a front somi dismount, good exercise.
Very nice dismount again here by this 12-year-old Andrea Landagni. And her score is 9-4-0. Very good for the youngster. Now for the United States, from Arlington Heights, Illinois, this is Amy Koopman.
And after starting out with such a terrific vault, she has to be psyched for this event. She's a good uneven bar worker, although I think her balance beam and floor exercise are her better events. But she's tough on this event. She's a lot stronger than she's been in the past, and she's been a very consistent performer in many of the international meets she's performed in the past year.
He was a member of the 1980 Olympic team and has been on the national team in 1980 and 81.
She starts out with a half twist right into a kip. Glide kip to the high bar. Now watch this, right into a stalter to a handstand. Good positioning. Half twist to the low bar. They must move in and out of the uneven bars as she's doing right here. Right up to a whip handstand. Stalter. Now watch this, called the Shapashnikova, named after the Russian gymnast. A little stall there. A few tenths of a point off there. Glide kip, double leg shoot through right to the high bar. Handstand. Those legs apart are going to hurt her just a little bit. Very nice dismount.
Amy Koopman. And Amy, who had such a fine performance in the vault now, turning in another nice one here in the uneven bars. Amy Koopman from the Mid-American Twisters Club, seeming confident, and she should be, 9-7-0.
And the last competitor in the uneven bar competition is Marie Roethlisberger.
Age 15 years old, Marie Roethlisberger is from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
And you know, Jack, so many of the routines now have so much originality and risk that it's very easy to miss no matter how many times you've done it perfectly. Marie has a very difficult move in her routine. It's called a reversed hecht, and it's the first time she's thrown it in competition. In fact, I think it's one of the first ever done in international competition. Here it comes. Straddle back, very nicely done. Lots of height, good distance from the bar.
Into the floor exercise, and here's Hungary's Andrea Landagni, the 12-year-old.
And this event will be difficult for Andrea to make points. She's a little bit lacking in her dance. Her tumbling is good, but she does have a few years to improve and mature a little bit on the dance. She starts out with a double back. Big fall there. That's a 5/10 of a point deduction on that fall. You can see that her arms are a little bit stiff, although her form is good. Her legs are straight, toes pointed. Her tumbling and her acrobatics are definitely her stronger point in this event. Her second tumbling run is a whip over, round off flip-flop, whip over, flip-flop, back tuck. The gymnasts are now using orchestrated music rather than just the piano. This has been in effect for quite a while now. There's an aerial walkover. And her last tumbling run, a double twist. She needs height and a fast twist. A few steps back there, maybe a 1/10 of a point deduction there. Hungary has to be very proud of this gymnast. Nice exercise.
Andrea Landagni. This 12-year-old 61-pounder gaining invaluable international experience that will benefit her in the years ahead. She'll be 14 in the Olympic year. There you go, 9-10 for Andrea Landanu. And now, Nico Ivanovic, 15 years of age, from Budapest.
Now, Nico has a better dance program than Andrea, and her beginning tumbling run is a whip-over, flip-flop to a double back. More and more, you'll see lots of combination moves in the tumbling rather than just one or two tricks. There goes, round off, whip-over, flip-flop, flip-flop, double back. Very nice, and she landed it without any steps. Jack, I think one of the nice things now is that women are now putting a little more personality into their routines and not quite so stoic looking. The gymnast has to keep right with the music. If it is off in rhythm and the moves don't coincide with the moves, with the music, then there's a deduction. Like handspring, her second tumbling run now. Round off, flip-flop, double twist. A little bit low with the shoulders on there, but not bad at all. Double turn. And this is where the endurance comes in. There's a little pause there, getting ready for the last tumbling run. Round off, flip-flop, full twist. More and more, we're seeing double twist, double backs, and it's important that she improve that by 1984.
Nico Ivanovic.